Alright, so this is how it's going to get shipped. It's going to be shipped in this kind of box, which is big enough for the painting. I might actually have to make a top for it, but that's going to be alright for this particular painting, for it to fit nice and snug. You kind of want it snug in there, but not, you know, flapping around or anything. This is going to be the perfect size for the painting. As for the wrapping, what I'm doing right now is wrapping it up in craft paper first, and then I'm going to wrap it in bubble. The reason why I'm doing craft paper first is it's least likely in the heat to have the oil transfer over. If this thing was left in the heat, sometimes the plastics and the oils might, you know, the chemicals might interchange and mingle, and you'd rather have some kind of paper thing in between there. And so we're gonna just do a fine layer of one layer of paper, and then bubble, and then cardboard, and then more bubble, and then we'll get it in the box. So we'll show you that, how that looks like right now. Alright, so here's the basic layer of basically the craft paper, just one layer. Now we're going to put some bubble wrap over this. I did put an F right there so that I know which way is the front, because the front is the thing that you want to have protected the most during the whole shipping phase and all that kind of stuff. So we'll probably line another line of cardboard on top of the bubble, so we're going to do that right now. Alright, so we have our first thin layer of bubble wrap on here. Of course, you know, I wrote front on there so that I know which way is the front. Like we said, you want the front protected the most. We're actually going to go in the back, look for some large boxes to cut them down so we can lay a layer of protection on the front here using cardboard faces. Alright, so now we can see that the front is totally covered with cardboard. The corners are nice and secure. And one of the things I wanted to show you real quick that's important is to make corner bangers, or at least that's what I call them. Something that if it's dropped on its corner, it's not going to be touching the actual piece of art here. So I'll make some extra room in case it gets dropped on a corner. It's not going to affect the painting. So that's a word of advice, is don't put the cardboard flush up against the painting. You want to have some overhang, because if it gets dropped on the corner, this part's gonna be smashed down and not ruin the painting. So once we put this in the box, or before I put this in the box, I'll probably sure up this thing a little bit more with maybe another piece of cardboard on each of the corners. But you can see, like, the whole thing around it, the cardboard goes past the painting. So that's one of the things. You don't want to have it right up against there flush. You want to have it, you know, with some little overhang in case it gets dropped. You know, it's going to have some give, especially on the corners there. Alright, so these are what our bangers look like once the other side is put on there. You know, what you want to do is you can get some tape, and they actually make frame foam ones of these, so if you have a really high-end painting, you might want to do that too. This, you know, we're in a pinch here, so we're going to make them out of cardboard, like you said. You know, if this thing's dropped on its corner, there's going to be like this much give before it actually impacts the actual painting. We did that on every one of these corners. So basically, there's bangers, and we're going to probably put another layer of cardboard on. This is the back before we slide it into the box. Or actually, we'll probably put this in the box, and then we'll put the cardboard. We'll put the extra cardboard in there. So as we can see, the painting slid right in there perfectly. What we can do is we're going to actually probably put some more cardboard and line the liner one more time, and then maybe put some bubble wrap or something else in here for dunnage to get this thing sealed up. What's interesting about this, as you might notice, this part peaks up more than I think you can probably see it better if I tilt it. It peaks up more than it is flush. That's what we want. We could have a flush thing, but this painting was a little bit too big for this box. So we're going to actually put it like another piece of cardboard over here. What's nice is that there's give, so that if it's ever dropped on this part, there's like almost 2 inches of cardboard that's going to catch it from actually being smashed. So as you can see, I took these slats from outside, I cut down a larger box and slid these into the back here using some dunnage to kind of hold it into place. Now what we can do is put some more dunnage in the back and use a stick or something to push that all the way down to the thing, and then we'll basically work on the front here after that. All right, so now that we did our crowning, basically both sides have dunnage on both the sides, and we've kind of closed this top up as kind of like a triangle. If we can turn it to the side, you can see here it's kind of like a triangle. The painting is going to be well below this hitting point, so the paintings actually rest within this this bulbous top here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to put another piece of cardboard on top of this to set it off for the final piece here. And there you have it with the crown on top. This is actually going to help if there's any other impacts on the top. As you can see here, it doesn't look pretty, but you know, it's going to be well protected. As we can see here, there's plenty of dunnage. We can see how kind of bulbous it sticks out a little bit. This thing will be in you know, amazing shape by the time it gets to its location. So ideally you want to get a box that's big enough for your piece of art, but sometimes the art's so big, and so just think ahead if you're going to ever sell a piece of art to have, you know, all of your stuff in order, especially if it's a larger piece. Like I said, ideally if you're going to sell a $1,000 painting or whatever, you want to go and invest in a box that'll fit it perfectly without having to do all this stuff. But you know, we just basically modified what we had, and so basically this helps. If this helps, definitely click the like button. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
What she know about rocking the wolf on your noggin? What she knowin' about wearing a bird box skin? I'm digging, I'm searching right through that luggage. One man's trash, that's another man's. Like your granddad, or donating that slap it up shirt, 'cause now I'm up in her. I'm in the where you can find me in the. I'm not searching in the section.